All right, there's something I've been wanting to talk about. Like something I've really been wanting to talk about, but I haven't known where to talk about it. Like, do I talk about it on Instagram? Do I talk about it on my podcast? No, like I have to talk about it here because I feel like this is the outlet I've been seeking and didn't even know I was seeking. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the thing I've been wanting to talk about. And apparently my dog wants to talk about it too. It's about my roots and growing out my roots and what that means and what this journey has been. Hold on, I'm gonna grab some juice. Like, let's really dive in here. So I have gray hair. See that? I've got gray hair. That's what I mean. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about my roots. I have gray hair. And about, I don't know, I guess around a year ago, I was guided to stop dyeing my hair. So I stopped dyeing my hair and I went 9 months without coloring my hair. So I didn't color my hair for 9 months. And over those 9 months, my roots grew in. And during that time, I had my mom specifically with someone that was like, what are you doing? Like, why are you growing out your roots? Like you're making yourself look older. And I got to be like, well, why does having gray hair mean that like you look older? Like, why do we have to succumb to that being a thing? And then I went to get my hair cut by someone new, and he's also a colorist. And he was like, you're really young, like to have gray hair. And I was like, well, am I too young to have gray hair? Because they're growing out of my head. So how could I be too young to have gray hair if gray hair is growing from my head? So he was very adamant on that he wanted to color my hair. And I was very adamant that I was only there for a haircut. So fast forward, another few months go by, and I wake up one morning. It's about 9 months after I stopped coloring my hair. And I have this intuitive knowing, like, okay, you can color your hair again. And I was like, what? And this happens to me a lot. Maybe I'll tell those stories too. Like when I gave up alcohol for 5 years and when I gave up smoking weed for like 3.5 years and then another 2 and another 1. And anyway, I tend to do these things. I'm a 3-5 in human design. Like I dive all in and then like I get the message because I did what I needed to do. So I got this download, you can color your hair again. And eventually I was like, all right, well, I'd actually like to do that. Because at this point I was very committed to going gray. Like I was committed to like white, like Oprah, A Wrinkle in Time. Like I've got curly hair. You guys have seen it in other videos. It's straight right now. But like I was like, Oprah, white hair, like here for it, so fucking here for it, like so here for this like white wrinkle in time moment. Like that's how I'm supposed to show up as a healer and a witch, right? Like, and then I got this download so that I could color my hair and I was like, well, it's not growing in as white as I would like. Like I'm 9 months into this journey and this is it. So I started coloring it again. And now it's only been probably 4 or 5 times that I've colored it. And I haven't colored my hair now since, I want to say January. Yeah, since January. I haven't colored my hair. And actually after this last coloring, I noticed that it seemed to leave really quickly. I was in New York, and maybe it was the water there. I don't know, but it just felt like it rinsed out really quickly. So I've been sitting with the fact that I have a hair color appointment on Friday of this week, but I'm like loving the silver hairs again and they're growing in a little more. And it kind of like looks like a halo. And like, I'm not gonna lie, like that's some like angel shit, right? Like, oh, I just like have this halo of gray hairs, but they don't grow anywhere else. Like it's just this halo around my head. I don't know. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. But like also, I like having dark hair. I was blonde for a few years. I like being brunette again. Like, am I fully ready to commit to like transitioning to gray? I'm only 40 years old. Like, I know people at 40 like go gray, but like 40 now is very different from like when the Golden Girls was on TV. Like we're a whole other fucking breed at 40 now. as if the Golden Girls were 40. But like close. So anyway, I've just been thinking about it because what's been incredible in the journey of not coloring my hair is this idea that like I got to create new timelines, create new stories, create new energy around the fact that gray hair doesn't mean you're old. Gray hair doesn't make you look older. Last week, someone thought I was 28 years old, which like, that's a little bit of a stretch, young kid that was hitting on me. But like, the point is, I grew out my roots. I grew out these old stories and patterns and wounds that society pushes down on us, that like, you have to color your hair. You have to look a certain way. Your hair has to be straight. Your hair has to be curly, blah, blah, blah. There was like always so much like with hair, probably because I have like a lot of hair and I love my hair. Like I love my hair so much that it used to be like, it's my favorite feature. Now my favorite feature is obviously my heart, but I always had a lot of like energy projected onto the hair. We all do, right? And the hair is this antenna. It absorbs energy and it attracts energy. So our hair is definitely like this, like it's so powerful. It's our antenna. It's growing out of the crown. So it's like, who am I to mess with the fact that God wants me to like show my wisdom through my hair? I don't know. I'm not canceling my appointment for Friday quite yet. I mean, listen, I can just stop dyeing my hair again next month. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, it's not do or die. And I was getting a message. I thought it paused. And I can also like cancel my appointment by the end of the week. So I'd love like your opinions. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it in the comments. What are your thoughts on growing out your roots, on gray hair, on society's standards, and then like your personal standards and like the things that were placed onto you by your parents? Like, let's talk about it because there's so much to say that I haven't known where to say it, and I've been holding this conversation in for a year. So I'm going to stop holding in these thoughts and conversations and start having them here with you. All right, that's it. I'm going to finish my green juice and get back to work.